Little bitches D-Day, but they keep it straight face. Don't want no bitch, you know I got feel I just wanna be fake. I got your ass like it.
We're gonna add a new adjustment layer, and then we're gonna go up to effects and presets and type in wave warp. We're gonna grab that wave warp, put it onto our adjustment layer. We're gonna go to wave type and change this to square, and then put a keyframe of the wave type right there and click U to open it up. And then we're gonna go 7 frames back, and then we're gonna go up to wave type and put this to noise. Next, we're gonna go down to the direction and put this to 180. Next, we're gonna go to the middle marker and put a keyframe for the wave height and put this to 0. We're gonna go back 1 frame and put the wave height to 98. Go back 1 more and put it to 56. Then we're gonna go back 4 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put it to 0. Now going forward on the forward one right here, we're gonna put it to 76. This next one to 0. Go ahead 1 more and put this to 20. Then we're gonna go ahead 4 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put this to 0. Now we're gonna highlight all of these and click U on our keyboard, or right click keyframe assistance, easy ease. Go to effects and presets and type in motion tile. Grab the motion tile, put it onto our layer, and put the output width to 200 and the output height to 200. Click on mirror edges, grab it, put it above the wave warp, and bada bing bada boom. So we're gonna go up to effects and presets and type in time warp RGB. Grab it, put it onto our layer. We're gonna keyframe the red shift frames and the blue shift frames. Click U twice on our keyboard to open it up. We're gonna go to the beginning and put both of these to 0. Then we're gonna go to the end on right here and put both of these to 0 also. Once you've added your adjustment layer, and we go up to effects and presets and we type in glint rainbow. So we're gonna put glint rainbow on here. Of course, brightness turns down the glint. You can change the colors with the hue. We can turn down the threshold so we get a decent looking glint. In this case, on our shot, we're gonna put a keyframe for the brightness. Click U on our keyboard and go ahead a couple frames. We're gonna put this to 0. Go back a couple frames, put this to 0. If you guys want to make it a rainbow glitch, pretty simple. If you go to the beginning and you click a keyframe on the hue shift, click U twice on your keyboard, and then go to the end, and then you just say crank this up like crazy. Now if you play it back, the hue will be changing as it's going. You can also click on these sides and you can make the glint much larger. You can make it much smaller. If you want more glint to be in these darker areas, if you go over to glint from alpha, you can turn this up and the glint will start to come up like crazy. If you guys are looking for a really cool subtle RGB that you can literally add to any video, all you have to do is right click, put a new adjustment layer, go up to effects and presets, and we're gonna be typing in warp chroma. This is my favorite RGB. I usually put it on pretty much every cinematic that I make.
I put that on everything.
And then if we go up to from Z distance and we put this to 0.970, now as you can see around the edges, we get this really subtle RGB. We're gonna go up to effects and presets and type in stereo mixer. If I can spell it correctly, grab it onto our layer or the audio track. On this keyframe is where we want it to start. So we're gonna put a keyframe for the left level and the right level and click U to open it up. We're gonna go in between these clips, and this is where we want it to pan to the left. We're gonna put the right level right here at 0. We're gonna change the left level to 150, and then we're gonna want it to pan to the right in between this clip. So we're gonna go right here, change this to 0, and go to the right level, put it to 150. And then right on the shot, we wanted to go back into both ears. So all we really have to do is grab those first 2 keyframes, Control C, Control V. Now we just highlight all of these and we easy ease them.
Keep it straight face. Don't want no bitch, you know I feel I just wanna be fake. I got your ass like it.
We're gonna type in shine. It is part of the trap code plugin, and we're gonna put shine on the adjustment layer. So with the source point, if you move this, you can see that the rays are kind of emitting from a different area. The ray length, pretty simple. You can bring it up, down, make them shorter, longer. We're gonna go into shimmer, and we're gonna put this at 40. Shimmer is kind of like that little bit of a flicker to the lights. You can go over to boost light and turn this up, and as you can see, it gets very crazy. We're gonna leave it at 1.5. Now for the fun part, if you go into colorize, this is where you can play around with the colors, with the highlights, midtones, and shadows. Or if you want to do the quick way, you can click on colorize, And there's a bunch of presets that you guys can use. If you just want the rays to be the color of the video, you just go over to colorize and click on none. In this case, we're gonna be using electric. And if you want to add a little bit more spice to this, you can go down to fractal noise, and this is where you can kind of add in some really cool kind of smoky effect to your video. Now we're gonna be putting the shine on the impact. So right here on number 1 is the impact. Keyframe the shine opacity, click U to open it up. Go a couple frames back, put this at 0, and then go ahead probably kind of pretty far so it fades out pretty long, and then we just highlight those, ease them.
Keep it straight face. Don't want no bitch, you know I got feel. I just wanna be fake. I got your ass like it.
If we make a new adjustment layer and then we type in time warp RGB, grab it, put it on our new adjustment layer, and it is as simple as really just going to where you want the RGB to be, usually on like the key beats, and then we just keyframe the opacity to 100 at the start. Go back a couple frames, put it to 0, go ahead like this, put it to there.
Keep it straight face. Don't want no bitch, you know I got feel. I just wanna
Once you have your adjustment layer, we're gonna go up to effects and presets and type in halftone, and then we are gonna be grabbing the halftone color from Sapphire, put it onto our adjustment layer. We're gonna put the dot frequency to 200, and then we're gonna change the dot color to RGB. There's a lot of settings that you guys can play with, but to get this really cool kind of like comic book look, we're gonna also add in posterized time. We're gonna be grabbing posterized time, putting it on our adjustment layer also, and we're gonna be having this comic book effect right before the kill. T on our keyboard to click on opacity, go ahead and then turn it down. And then on the slow-mo drop, we're gonna put a keyframe for 100 and then go back a few frames and put this to 0. We're also gonna add a vignette to this. So we're gonna grab your favorite vignette, in this case, CC vignette. On the beginning, we're gonna put this to 150. Click U to open it up. Go to the beginning keyframe, put this to 0. Go to the kill, put a keyframe on the amount, and then go ahead and then put this to 0. Forgot to mention on the posterized time, we're gonna change the frame rate to 18 to get a little bit more like aesthetically kind of retro look, comic book look.